Remove 6 bolts from discharge manifold and remove. Inspect balls and valve seats for damage or wear and remove. Remove 6 bolts from the suction manifold and remove. Inspect balls and valve seats for damage or wear and remove. Remove 8 chamber bolts and remove chamber. Repeat on other side. Place outer diaphragm plate hex in vise. Use wrench on opposite hex to loosen. Use rod wrench on rod flats to loosen and remove opposite diaphragm assembly. Ensure washer and bumper are present on both sides. Remove 6 bolts from inner diaphragm plate and remove. Inspect diaphragm for damage or wear. Remove 3 screws from retainer plate. Flip and repeat. Remove pilot sleeve assembly and inspect for damage and wear. Remove 8 bolts on air valve assembly and remove. Remove 8 bolts on air valve assembly and remove. Inspect shuttle plate, shuttle, and spool movement. Lightly grease the intermediate and pilot sleeve assembly. Insert pilot sleeve into intermediate. Tap with mallet if needed. Attach retaining plate to both sides using 3 screws. Flip and repeat. Place diaphragm plate into groove on outer diaphragm plate with fluid side facing outer diaphragm plate. Place inner diaphragm plate onto diaphragm. Insert 6 bolts and torque to 12.5 foot-pounds in crisscross star pattern. Repeat with second diaphragm assembly. Place bumper on rod and washer on outer diaphragm plate stud. Screw outer diaphragm plate into rod. Ensure bumper and washer do not fall off. Place outer diaphragm plate hex into vise and invert diaphragm. Place bumper on rod and washer on outer diaphragm plate stud. Screw outer diaphragm plate into rod. Ensure bumper and washer do not fall off. Tighten outer diaphragm until mechanical interference reaches a hard stop and then 1/8 to 1/4 turn more. Place outer chamber in fixture. Place intermediate assembly into outer chamber in correct orientation. The non-inverted diaphragm should be in the chamber. Insert 8 bolts and secure assembly to fixture. Torque to 100 inch-pounds in crisscross star pattern. Insert pry bar below top inner diaphragm plate. Insert pry bar through ball cage below bottom outer diaphragm plate. Lift both plates and work lower pry bar under outer diaphragm plate hex. Wedge block into ball cage to hold lower pry bar in place. Flip diaphragm down. Place outer chamber on top in correct orientation. Insert 8 bolts and torque to 30 foot-pounds in crisscross star pattern. Insert balls and valve seats. Place suction manifold onto pump. Insert 6 bolts and torque to 50 foot-pounds in crisscross star pattern. Place valve seats and balls into chamber. Place discharge manifold over balls and valve seats. Insert 6 bolts and torque to 50 foot-pounds in crisscross star pattern. Ensure air valve side of gasket is toward air valve. Place air valve assembly onto pump with arrow facing up. Ensure shuttle plate does not fall out while you do this. Insert 8 bolts and torque to 40 inch-pounds in crisscross star pattern.